Hi there, guys. Welcome to MMA Central. I am Dean Hughes. I am your host. People, we got some news today. It's going to bring you the news for MMA world. I'm going to touch on a few little topics as well today. I'm going to bring some boxing stuff up today. Massive fights that happened on the weekend. We'll go into some of those. A little bit of lomachenko. We will talk about the UFC that was on this weekend as well. First off, we'll get off with the news. Breaking news. Anderson Silva has announced that after the Uriah Hall fight, he will retire. Massive figure in the world of MMA, especially the UFC. One hell of a legend. His run as champion, for me, was fantastic. He was the man at that time in those periods of those fights when he was holding that belt, that middleweight title. He was fantastic. His fights, I always used to remember when he, back in those days, it seems so long ago because he's still fighting. And I know his recent fights haven't gone his way, and he hasn't always, in his later years, he hasn't been able to produce that same magic like everybody thought he would be able to in the early stage of his career, especially when he had the middleweight title. For me, he will go down as one of the best, absolute best MMA fighters, not just in the UFC, but in the world of combat sports. When he fought, it was, for me, the air of a Super Bowl. You knew the result before he'd even fought. Until the Weidman fight, he was impregnable. There was nobody out there that was better than him. His stand-up was amazing, even his groundwork, even against Chael Sonnen. I like Chael Sonnen, his style, that wrestling style, but he found a way to win. Found a way to win in that fifth round, and that's what true champions do. He will go down as an absolute legend of this sport. A legend. Next up, we've also got Ngannou, who is also frustrated. He's frustrated with the state of the heavyweight division. Frustrated that there's only been 2 title fights in the last 2 years. He's been quoted to say as, in 2 years, 2 title fights. What do the contenders fight for if we are not going to get to a title fight? And I understand him. I think this stems back from his fight with Stipe. I think the fight with Stipe, he got shown up. In effect, he got shown up. He was exposed. His weaknesses were exposed. I think Stipe did what many people couldn't do, and that is take those bombs from Ngannou. Ngannou hit him so hard in that fight. I watched it live. In that fight, any normal man, any mortal man would have gone down. But Stipe got to his game, took him down, and that's where Ngannou's fall happened. You know, he lost his next fight after that, came back, this beast of a man who, without Stipe in this division, would be champion. He would be champion. And I can understand his frustration. You know, the division has been held up a little bit with the Cormier situation and Stipe. Obviously, those two only wanted to fight each other. Obviously, Cormier wanted to fight Lesnar. That didn't happen. Stipe wanted to fight Cormier, but wanted time to recover. Obviously, with the pandemic, that kind of slowed everything down. Stipe obviously was working his fire department job, which is commendable to him. His career he's got, still wants to be a firefighter. Tremendous, brilliant work. But I do understand the frustration of Ngannou. He's gone from this phenom before the Stipe fight of he's unbeatable, nobody can take that power, and then Stipe happened, and then the next fight he lost. And then he's slowly built himself back up, knockout after knockout after knockout. You know, the Rosenstruck fight was a kid's game, really. You know, Rosenstruck, those, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, looked like he didn't even belong in the octagon, should I say, with Ngannou. And I think Ngannou's frustration is warranted. I think he's looking for a title fight. That's all he ever wanted. He had the thing with John Jones, which I don't think John Jones really wants to fight Ngannou. I don't think that's a matchup he would do well in. But Ngannou, he has to get that next title fight for me. I think the UFC owes that to him. He's had a great run. Out of all the heavyweights, he's been the one that has won consistently since the Stipe and the loss after. He's the one that has excited the fans, he excited everybody. The fight with Stipe, I'm not sure how that goes. I think if Stipe can do what he did in the first fight, which he dominated the fight. I think the first round was a little closer. I think he took him down in the first round, but the game plan of Stipe nullified everything that Ngannou had. You know, after the second round, I thought Ngannou was done. He looked exhausted. His get up and go wasn't there, and Stipe rightly won the fight. But Ngannou has done the right. He's done the right way. He's fought back to a title shot, and he should be the next in line. Hopefully, very quickly. I'd like to see that fight at the end of the year or sometime this year. I'd be disappointed if that's next year. Next on the old news, last thing as well, I've got to bring him up, McGregor. He's reportedly said and come out and told a lot of people, especially fans, and I'm a fan of McGregor. You can't not like the kid. He's brilliant. He's a good guy. As a fighter, you know, he's had his off-field stuff, and that is, I can't condone that. Some of the stuff he's done is terrible. But he's come out and said that his fight with Khabib, when the submission happened, the fight was called, he was 2 rounds up. Now, no, you won't. I'm sorry. I would probably give you 1 round. I think the second round was a bit dicey, a little bit close, but I think it may have been the third. But no, I thought he was a round down. I thought going into that 4th round, I thought McGregor, you know, and the 4th round started exactly how Khabib wanted it to start, straight down, looking to smash, looking for submission, got the submission. But personally, I don't agree with what McGregor said. Now, we'll finish up on UFC, because I do have to say some stuff about boxing, what happened on the weekend with Lomachenko. Big fan. Completely surprised. But we'll go over the Ortega and Korean Zombie fight. Now, people, wow. Brian Ortega has come back a new man. Composure, his fight style, he's changed. He said after the fight that he got rid of quite a bit of dead weight in his corner and has gone back to basics. What got him to the game? He looked great. He made Korean Zombie look like he didn't even belong. And Korean Zombie, exciting fight. He's a fighter I like to see. I like to watch Korean Zombie. He is one of those fighters that you like, that's a fight I want to watch, because he's crazy. Some of the stuff he does. His fight with Uriah Rodriguez, great fight. Unfortunately, knockout, which was a great elbow. And Uriah Rodriguez won that fight. I thought up till that point I had it for Zombie, but that happened. But something just didn't seem right with Zombie. He looked a little bit, how do I put it? He looked a little bit out of sorts. He looked like he didn't have an answer. I think Ortega had sussed it. He'd sussed him. You know, he'd done the work before. I think his new training partners are doing a great job with him. His coach is doing a fantastic job getting him ready for fights. He looks, you know, there. You know, I think, you know, reports coming out there that Volkanovski wants to fight him. Now, personally, me, Volkanovski, he fought Max the second time. I think he lost. I gave the fight for Max by 3-2, but it went to Volkanovski. I personally thought that Max won that fight. Now, two different styles, Ortega and Max Holloway. Holloway, great stand-up, volume punchers. Ortega, decent striker, but great ground game. He's very good on the ground. But in this fight, he showed me something completely different. He showed me a great jab. He kept his range to keep Korean Zombie at bay. You know, if you want to beat Zombie, keep him at arm's length. Don't let him come near you. Keep him at arm's length. And the whole fight, he did that. He was tremendous. You know, after the fight, Zombie looked like he knew, you know, that he was beat. After the fight, the bell had gone. He looked beat, you know, and Ortega, without hair, looks absolutely crazy. He looks like a mad person. He does look like someone that could kill you. But, you know, it's one of those things now. Where does this division go? Like Max, for me, Max can't have another title shot. I know if Volkanovski's champion, unless Max builds himself back up, wins a couple of fights, for me, it can't be a rematch. You know, he's lost two, albeit the second one I thought he won. It was very contentious. A lot of people were shocked that Volkanovski walked away with that. Volkanovski, after the fight, straight away said, I won, I'm moving on. I don't want to fight him again unless he builds himself up. Now, with Ortega, Volkanovski has come out straight away and said, I want Ortega. I want Ortega. Now, for me, this is an interesting fight. Volkanovski, powerful, great puncher, good wrestler. Flip that onto Ortega, good striker, dangerous on the ground. You know, he's got some crazy submissions. For me, that fight could go either way. I think flip a coin and that'll give you the winner. For me, I think if I was having to choose one, I probably would. I would stick with the champion. You know, I would stick with Volkanovski, but wouldn't be surprised if Ortega won that one. But yeah, it was a crazy fight. Watching Zombie and you're expecting this explosion of energy and I'm gonna get at you, and that didn't happen. You know, it didn't happen. He looked very standoffish, and I kind of understand with the layoff, but Ortega's had the same layoff, so you can't really use that as an excuse. It was a very dominant fight. You know, all 5 rounds I gave it to him. The scorecards gave it to Ortega's all 5 rounds, 50-45. Very convincing win. He's definitely, for me, now number one contender. I think I think Holloway kind of rules himself out with the 2 losses, albeit, you know, the second one possibly for me wasn't a loss. So we'll move on. Last subject now, guys, and girls, everybody, the central community. Vasily Lomachenko fought Teofimo Lopez on the weekend. And wow, I am shocked. You know, I knew this kid, this Lopez, 23 years old, I knew he was good. I knew he was doing good things. He was sharp, good jab, power, good footwork. But did I think he could beat Lomachenko? No. I'll be honest as that. And I know Lopez is a good fighter. I've seen a couple of his fights. Lomachenko, man, pound for pound, number one in the world. He is the dog's bee. And if people don't know what that means, he is the dog's bollocks. He is, pound for pound, the best fighter in the world, up until that fight. And I watched that fight. You know, I actually missed the fight. I actually forgot it were on. That's how bad I am. I watched the fight. I rewatched it. And I don't know what was going on with Lomachenko. For 7, 8 rounds, I was looking at a different fighter. You know, I've watched a lot of Lomachenko fights, and he's high energy, popping in, popping out, footwork, blah, 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 blah. But in this fight, he looked so stationary. All he was doing was moving away, and for me, that's not Lomachenko. I don't know what was being said in the corner. I don't know if that was the game plan, if they didn't think that Lopez was this good, or I don't know. I was that shocked. I'm still shocked now. I'm still thinking Lomachenko, oh no, he's not number one. He's lost the belts. Oh no. You know, Lopez unified the division, the lightweight division, 23 years old. 23 years old. This kid has a massive future. Obviously, for me, there will be a rematch. Lomachenko straight after the fight. Personally, for me, I had it 116 to 112. Round about there. I think round 7 was a turning point. I think round 7 could possibly have gone to either or. I think it was a very close round. Round 12 for me. Close, but I thought Lopez just nicked it. And the style, you know, he came out. Lomachenko, I'm watching and I'm like, yeah, he's going to kick on it next round. Next round comes. Yeah, he's going to kick on it next round. Right, he's not kicking on. He'll kick on it next round. And it never come. It never came. You know, and for me, I watched the fight and it took to at least the 7th to 8th round. 8th round, definitely. 7th round, he started to pick it up a little bit. But the 8th round, he finally came forward. Like, did his corner, like, not watch the fight? For me, he lost the first 6 rounds, possibly 7th. 7 rounds, possibly he lost. The 6 rounds to start with, he definitely lost for me. He definitely lost those rounds. 7th onwards, you know, questionable. You know, I think from 8th till the 11th, Lomachenko took over. He showed his qualities. He showed an urgency of, you know, I'm losing this fight and I am losing badly. I need to at least knock him down or knock him out or win every round. And there was no urgency about him. The style, and it was like from the 8th round when he walked out of the 8th, it was like the corner had just said to him, right, just go forward. You've got to come forward. You are losing this fight. And then it switched. He just switched. He came forward. He was working, but he played straight into Lopez's hands. In that 12th round, I could have seen both of them going down. They were throwing haymakers, bombs at each other. Lopez, you know, for me, Lopez probably was surprised for the first 6 rounds that it was so easy. It was so easy how he just manhandled and just popped everything. Jab, cross, hook, body, was working the body nice. Lomachenko, I've never seen his face so badly hurt. You know, but after that 12th round and the stood in the ring, he looked beat. He looked beat. I know he's been beat before, very early on in his career when he was just coming through. But this man, and people are saying, oh, well, he's not had a lot of fights. Have you seen his record? He's over 300 fights. That's what he's claimed. He's had over 300 amateur fights. 2-time Olympic gold medalist. He is fantastic. And to see him, how he came into that fight, man, I was so disappointed. You know, and the comments after his fight, and he came out and said, I can't believe I've lost this fight. I thought I was winning. It's a robbery. Honestly, Loma, I know you're probably never going to watch this. You really need to watch that fight back because you were clearly losing. And even in the 12th, you were still clearly losing. For me, at least 4 rounds, people have... Like, I don't agree with the one of the judges' scorecard who had it like 119 to 111, I think, 110, something like that. That was just that was a bit excessive. Loma was better than that, but Lopez, wow, this kid has got a bright future. 23 years of age, dismantling, arguably at that time, the pound for pound #1 boxer in the world, Vasily Lomachenko. Now, where does this leave Lomachenko? You know, either will be an immediate rematch. There will obviously be in a rematch. But if he fights like that again, I fear. I really do feel I have another loss. He can't fight like that again. You know, if like they come out and said, the corner come out and said they were trying to measure him, they were trying to get a bead on him. You know, trying to work out his flaws, his things he's good at. If it took 7 rounds to do that, then the next fight, wow, Lopez, he is quality. He is he's got a very bright future. Very bright. Right, guys, we're going to end it there. I'm going to be doing another video for the UFC 254 at the end of today. Sometime tomorrow, probably going to put that up. I'm going to be giving my thoughts. Guys, please leave your comments, questions, anything. I want your opinions on everything that I've discussed. Leave your comments, leave your questions. I want to build this community up. I want your input. I don't want just my input. I want to hear from you guys. Please, guys, let me know what you think of everything I've talked about, the news, the Lomachenko, the Ortega fight, possible repercussions of what happened this weekend. Let me know. Like I said, I will be putting a UFC 254 breakdown predictions, what I think could possibly happen over the weekend. Same on that video. I want your comments. I want your input. I want you to disagree with me, because there are some things that I will say that you won't like. I want you to tell me what you think. Please also like and subscribe to my channel. Like this video. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Please. Have I said that already? Come on, guys. Like and subscribe. Catch you in the next one, guys. Thank you very much.